In this video, we are going over the timing and impacts related to our upcoming major winter storm. Blizzard conditions, heavy snow, and very strong winds will cause major problems in New England, but uncertainty is still the key word as you go further to the south. We're going to look at all the data so you can be as informed as possible. Welcome back, y'all. Ryan Hall here with the weather forecast. With all of the uncertainties that are involved with this storm, there is one thing for sure. There's going to be a huge blast of cold air behind it. In fact, some of that cold air is going to make it all the way down into Miami. Low temperature is going to be in the 20s and 30s all across Florida on Sunday. Now, in case you didn't know, there are iguanas in Florida, and whenever the temperature gets below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, they just kind of give up and become immobile. So I hereby issue a falling iguana watch for Florida. Don't worry too much though, because those temperatures are going to come back up later in the day, and when that temperature gets above 40, those little guys are going to perk right back up, I promise. Now, let's talk about something even more unpredictable than falling reptiles in Florida: snow in the Northeast. All right, let's take a look at that simulated radar on the NAM 3 kilometer model. This is kind of what the radar is going to look like as we go into the future, and if you want to keep up with the date and time, it's always going to be above my head there. Here we are around 2 p.m. today. We got some scattered snow flurries over here in Colorado, even up into the northern plains here, and then we have this very obvious cold front coming through the Great Lakes region and then eventually into the Northeast. You can't really see it, but there's another piece of energy down here that's going to combine with all three of these over here in the Atlantic Ocean, and that's what's going to make our big storm, okay? Here we are around 3 a.m. early tomorrow. You can start to see evidence of that disturbance down here in southern Texas. There's going to be some scattered rain showers down there. And then you can also see our big cold front and impending trough starting to spark up some pretty good showers and heavier bursts of snow from central Kentucky into Ohio and West Virginia, and of course along the lakes. Let's go even further into the future. Here we are at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Still looks very similar. And there's going to be a pretty persistent little band of snow that will maybe cause some light accumulations in eastern Kentucky into West Virginia and possibly even into southeastern portions of Pennsylvania. Let's zoom in on the East Coast and watch that storm really start to come together here around 8 p.m. tomorrow night. You can see some of that convection bubbling up out here in the Atlantic Ocean. Then you can also see that phasing starting to occur with that piece of energy from the north and west. I really do think that somebody over here in the Appalachian Mountain region, more than likely on the northwest side of that Appalachian spine, I think one of you guys are going to overperform with your snow because there's going to be some moisture from the lakes coming down. I still think there's going to be some isolated chances for some banding up here. So the general consensus for snow is going to be 1 to 3 inches for a lot of you guys, but a couple of you are going to surprise us with a little bit more snow than that. But very quickly, our attention heads over to the coast as around 11 p.m. tomorrow night, we do expect for some moderate to heavy snow to break out in the mid-Atlantic region. This includes the Delmarva area, all of Delaware, into southern Jersey. We're even seeing some of that snow break out as far back as into South Carolina, North Carolina, and the Piedmont. All of Virginia could be seeing snow at this time, but remember, this isn't the heavy stuff. This isn't the blizzard that we've been talking about. This is just the beginning stages of this storm. Now, the longer these snow showers stay over you, the better chance you have of seeing accumulating snows, but we're still not in Snowtown, baby, in a lot of these places. Let's kick her forward a little bit more, and here we are at 5 a.m. on Saturday, and now this is where we're talking about the heavy snow. Whenever this low pressure system really starts to kick it into high gear down here and throw some big time moisture on the backside, and we start getting that new cold air cycling down into this thing, that's when the heavy snow is really going to break out, and we're going to see it over here from Cape Cod into portions of Long Island, extreme southern New Jersey, eastern portions of Maryland and Delaware, and even into the Tidewater area over here in Virginia, around Virginia Beach, and extreme northeastern North Carolina. But look at the sharp cutoff on the backside, okay? If you're in Philadelphia, we're talking about light snow. If you're in Scranton, Pennsylvania, we're talking about no snow. However, I do think there's still a chance for you guys to get some flurries out of this. If we look at the upper air analysis, you can see that there's some pretty moist air all the way back into upstate New York, and this means that if there's enough energy getting thrown back into this area, the atmosphere is supportive of snow. So like I was talking about yesterday, that precip shield might be a little conservative here, but still, if you're beyond this, you're not getting any big snow out of this. I'm sorry. Let's keep going forward, and according to the NAM, we're seeing heavy snow all across Long Island at 11 a.m. on Saturday. Blizzard conditions at this point in Massachusetts, especially especially there on Cape Cod. It's also around this time where some of those real strong winds are going to start kicking up. Boston, you're going to see 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts, okay? New York City, you might see 40 to 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. The further out on Long Island you are, and especially here near Providence, Rhode Island, we're talking about 50, maybe even 60-mile-an-hour winds with this thing. This is obviously going to cause blowing snow, blizzard conditions, and maybe even power outages and coastal flooding. And look at how this just intensifies as it goes off to the north and east. The entire coast of Maine, all the way up into New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, you guys have to deal with this as well. Now, according to the NAM model and a lot of other models, around 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday, this low pressure system is going to bomb out. It's literally going to undergo a process known as bombogenesis, where the central pressure deepens more than 24 millibars in 24 hours. And while that's happening, we are going to see a big band of snow form on the northwestern side. I've been talking for days now about how I believe somebody on the East Coast is going to end up measuring this snowstorm in feet. I think that whoever ends up under this band is going to be that person. The NAM model is suggesting that that's going to happen right around here. So, you know, it does include Boston. It does include Providence, Rhode Island. It includes a lot of coastal Maine. But as we're getting ready to talk about as we go into the future, a lot of the models are not agreeing with the exact placement of this still. All right, to see any further into the future, we have to kind of lower our resolution here. We're looking at the 12-kilometer NAM now. At this point, we're still seeing heavy snow from Long Island into Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. Now, Vermont, you're in a tough position here because if this thing shifts this way just a little bit, eastern Vermont's going to get a pretty good amount of snow. But if this thing stays where it's forecasted or shifts east a little bit, I think Vermont, you're not going to get a ton of snow out of this. Your best shot's going to be near Manchester, and it's certainly locked in coastal Maine. From Portland all the way up to Eastport, you guys are going to get some snow. And then, of course, New Brunswick and Nova Scotia has to worry about that later on, but it looks like Nova Scotia might get away with a little bit of this storm, at least on the underside as the main part goes through. Looks like it might be mostly rain or freezing rain for a lot of you guys. Okay, here's the forecasted snow totals from that NAM run, and this is more than likely on the higher end, I think, except for maybe north and east of this line. I think that's pretty realistic. Here's the latest Euro model, and as you can tell, that's a little bit further south and east. So New York City gets less snow, a lot of New Jersey gets less snow, a lot of New Hampshire gets less snow, but the coastal areas here look very similar, okay? That's where the confidence is the highest right now, is right along the coast. We think you guys, some of you guys are going to get clobbered by snow. What about the Canadian model? It kind of comes back to the north and west a little bit, and this brings good snow even into New York City, over 10 inches. And then this is the GFS. Can you believe this, guys? We pay taxes for this thing. Now, if the GFS turns out right, okay, if this verifies, millions of weather weenies all up and down the East Coast are going to cry. Once again, it's the only model right now that's showing this. It's literally showing no snow for Virginia Beach, basically no snow for anybody south and west of Cape Cod. Still shows a very good hit for Cape Cod and, you know, areas north and east of there, but this is by far the most eastern solution that we've seen so far in the models. Now, me personally, I think that this is 100% a plausible thing that could happen, but this is going to be on the low end extreme for a lot of you guys, okay? This is on the low end, and then that NAM 12-kilometer model run is probably going to be on the high end for a lot of you guys. So that's a big range, but it's a pretty realistic way of looking at it. All right, Ryan, shut up. Okay, all you do is sit here and talk about weather and ifs and wins and maybes and, well, I don't know. Give me some daggone solid numbers, Ryan. All right, let's get down to business here and let's talk about snow totals and what we can actually expect, okay? This is one thing I love to look at. This is the national blend of models. It takes them all and squeezes them together, and this is the juice that we get, okay? This is showing 3 or 4 inches down here around Virginia Beach, 1 or 2 inches around Washington, D.C., Toms River, New Jersey, 6 to 8 inches, extreme southern Jersey, someplace places might see more than 8 inches. Long Island, 6 to 10 inches of snow the further east you go. Philadelphia, 2 to 4 inches. But you can see that there's still a very strong line here between a little something and a bunch of nothing. Now, this is a look at the National Weather Service's forecast for you, okay? Totals are a little higher down here in the coastal areas of Maryland and Delaware. Look at this, southern and eastern New Jersey gets over 10 inches of snow according to the National Weather Service. New York City still around 6 to 8 inches, maybe over a foot down here near Southampton. So these numbers numbers, I like these, okay? I think it's a little conservative. Some of you are going to see more than this. Some of you might see a little bit less than this, but this is a good forecast. Let's go further north and east. Albany, not expecting much. Boston looks like over a foot of snow. And of course, down here in Cape Cod, between Plymouth and Harwich, we're talking about near 2 feet. Portland, around 10 inches of snow, and then Eastport, over a foot of snow out here in Maine. And now let's go back and look at the national blend of models. 9 or 10 inches in Boston, at least a little bit over a foot through a lot of the Cape. Western side of New Hampshire, 2 to 4. Eastern side, 6 to 12. Same thing with a lot of Maine, with the hot spot being over here towards Eastport, which once again gets around a foot of snow, if not a little bit more. Things are still going to shift a little bit from here, guys, but I think we're getting pretty close to nailing it down, and this is what it looks like right now. All right, Ryan, once again, we're done hearing about the East Coast. We live in Wyoming. We live in Utah. We live in Illinois. What's going to happen for us? Guys, I like to take it one storm at a time, okay? So when there's something big like this happening, of course, I'm going to zoom in over here, kind of ignore the places where it's sunny. If you want to know how sunny it's going to be, check the weather app, boys. Like I always say, it's a good thing when I don't talk about you. But anyways, let's take a brief look into the future. Once again, still expecting pretty quiet weather on Sunday into Monday for a lot of us, especially the more centralized you are in the United States. It's going to be cold down there in Florida. Once again, following iguanas early in the morning, but by 10 a.m. it should be, that falling iguana storm should be moving out of the area. We do have another area of precipitation and interest working into Washington, Oregon, Idaho. I know I had a tongue slip and accidentally called this Iowa yesterday. Sorry about that. And that's the precursor to our next big storm, okay? Once again, guys, I hope you are unfollowing all these hype weathermen, because you're going to see a lot of images, a lot of stuff talking about an ice storm, a lot of stuff talking about a blizzard back here in Texas. I saw something on Facebook about a deadly cold snap going down into Texas. There's a lot of noise out there, guys, and if you watched my video the other day, my advice for you is to tune everything out except for a couple reliable sources. But yes, there is a signal out here for early February. This is about 180 hours away. There's a signal for a big, mid-latitude storm to come through and possibly cause some snow from the Central Plains up into the Great Lakes region, maybe some ice in the Midwest. And then, of course, we've been talking about the potential for some severe weather in the Southeast for a little while, but we are too far away from this to actually really nail it down. We're taking this one storm at a time, boys and girls. And we have to, because there's so many. If we look at the GFS, there's your big boy coming through February 2nd and 3rd. Is that it? No, sir. Look at that. Woo, 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 woo. There's another fantasy storm on Saturday, February 5th. Is there any more? Of course there is. We're going to be stuck in this pattern for a while, guys. This is the most active winter a lot of us have had and are going to have in a while. So if you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button. When it comes time to get the milk and bread, you're going to hear it here first. I can promise you that. Once again, huge shout out to all of our members over here. Thank you for supporting the channel. Yesterday, did I say that we were doing the live stream last night? I meant tonight, sorry. Around 5 p.m. tonight, we're going to do a members only live stream here on the channel. We're going to hang out, talk about the weather, answer questions, all that good stuff. So please, if you're a member, turn the notifications on and just be ready for that. If you can't be there, there will be a recorded version. And I'm sorry for not doing it last night. Had some dad stuff come up, but for now, I'll see you in the next one. Okay, guys? Goodbye. Ooh.